I'm 10 Tampa Bay Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins.
And I'm 10 Tampa Bay Meteorologist Colleen Campbell. Hello.
And it's Thursday afternoon. So where do we start here? We have a lot going on today. We're really going to talk about a couple different things here. It's been warm. It's been dry. You know all of that. Drought index got updated today, the drought index. We will talk about that. But there are some changes down the line that we're looking at, and the models are kind of flip-flopping. But these changes really, Colleen, are not until Thanksgiving. And so we're talking about frying a turkey all of a sudden because of all that, right?
Yeah, when you want it to be dry, of course, we have our best chance of rain. But at this point, we'll take rain whenever we can get it because it's just been so arid.
Since September. I mean, it's driest September on record.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
The whole month.
Started off, kind of on a bad foot there.
And rainy season around here ends around the middle or end of October.
Yeah.
All right? Around the middle of October. So to miss a month's worth of rain in September, one of our rainiest months on average, really hurt us. And so we're 8 inches short. In some areas, even more than that.
Yeah.
For the year, and a lot of that came out of September. So we do need some rain. It has been warm, 78. We just use Tampa as the official number, but 78 is average for this time of the year. We've been about 83 to 85, and that looks like that will continue. Take a look at the European model. This is higher up in the atmosphere, but it kind of shows the highs and the lows. And where you have the highs, those red colors, you obviously have the warmer temperatures. Generally, they make high pressures. That makes warmer temperatures, more sunshine, of course. And then we start looking for the troughs that swing by from the north. You see one up towards the northeast by Sunday. It's a weak one. You see how it's kind of dipping down here? That is essentially a weak front trying to come through here. All right, it's a cold front. And what do we have rain at, Colin? I think it was 20% for Sunday.
Yeah, very low. I mean, if anything, some spits and sprinkles, 1/10 of an inch. We'd be lucky if we got that.
And not a lot of cold air either. That's mainly up there where you can see those colors. But that's number one, front number one, okay? This is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's Thanksgiving. And look at this. Let me back it up here. Here comes the other one, Wednesday into Thursday. Now, this is one that potentially could give us some slightly cooler air. But I got to say, watching this yesterday, now this is not exactly where all the cold air is, but this is not as deep as it was yesterday.
Right.
It is a trough. It's coming through. So when I see this, okay, number one, it's going to pull another cold front through here. We know that, right? At least try to. And this one looks like it'll probably get it all the way through here. So that's a chance for rain. That's probably our better chance for rain. But how much cool air gets in here behind it? Some of the models say a lot. The European model was saying not much at all initially. Then it said a whole lot.
Right.
And so it's going to come back and forth a little bit. And then it lifts back up, and we start to warm things back up again.
Yeah. Yeah, when you get more than 7 days out, I mean, we're just exactly a week from Thanksgiving today. And that's when it gets a little, we have an idea. Yeah, it could get slightly cooler, maybe lower dew points, but also now the models are kind of flip-flopping still on the rain chances. Bobby, I've seen the European kind of ump the rain chances up for Friday more. And that's just the latest run. And they'll do that, we'll get a better idea with timing at least, once we get closer.
I mean, folks at home, we're kind of used to it when we talk hurricanes, right? You get a 5-day forecast come, that's it. You don't get a 7-day, right? Hurricanes are because we know there are going to be changes. We're talking 8, 9, 10 days out, just regular weather, and that has changes in it as well.
Yeah.
Here's this is showing you more so the temperatures near the surface. It's not at the surface, but it's near. There goes the first one on Sunday, this upcoming Sunday.
Yeah.
Then here comes the second one on Wednesday, and you notice, look how much deeper it is here. So that's a better chance. We need that to dive to the southeast to give us the cooler air. So then watch as we go through Wednesday into Thursday. That is a little, look, that's it right there. Thursday into Friday, that's about as close as it gets, okay? See that dipping there? That is cooler air.
Yeah.
We're not going to get, certainly not what they have up here, of course. But also, when you see it dipping that sharply to the south, that also usually means you have a pretty decent cold front coming through, and that would give us some better rain. Now, this is cold air pouring down across Canada into the Great Lakes region and parts of the Northeast. That is part of what we call the polar vortex breaking down. Usually, it's kind of like this jet stream wind that's sitting up here. I don't know why it keeps doing that, but it's like this circle. And what it does is it keeps this colder air kind of trapped up in here, okay? But every now and then it breaks free, it gets weak. That circle of wind that holds that air in there, it gets weak and it allows a big dip to happen. There's another dip there. Those are areas of cooler air. Those, we call it the polar vortex, but it's actually a weakness in the polar vortex that's allowing that colder air to come down.
Yeah.
All right, and so what we're trying to do really is kind of time that. So you can see what it eventually looks like up there, right? And the odd part about this one is that there's warming up above that is going to disturb that jet stream, that polar vortex. The warming up above all of that will make it weaken, and then we'll get that jet stream to break a little bit and come down further to the south. And this happens all the time. I mean, it comes in waves, obviously. The key is, does it happen where? Is it in the western United States, in the eastern United States? And then the timing. How many times does it happen? Does it keep reloading? That would what we'd say, how progressive is the pattern? Yeah. Will it come in and swoop right back out? Or will it kind of reload itself? Or sometimes it does. And a lot of times it just sweeps in and sweeps right back out.
Yeah, Bobby, yesterday on our stream with James, we were talking about there was kind of a cutoff low situation out by California and portions of California, you know, again, breaking apart from that polar jet and really just diving down. You can see it there where it delivers that cooler air to that part of the world. And yeah, it was bringing snow to some of the mountainous areas. Yeah, and there's nothing really to move it out of the way. It just kind of has to drift back on its own.
Yeah, and sometimes it'll just cut off and moderate.
Right.
Yeah, and then this will actually reconnect up here.
Yeah.
This is very similar look to what we had here on Monday and Tuesday. Remember our shot of cold? Our shot of cold looks something like this, right? Very similar to what you're seeing right here. All right, so certainly not unheard of, but that's what we time everything with, okay? So leading up to that cooler air trying to get in here, you have warm, moist air. See this flow right here? Look at these wind arrows. See them out here out in the south and the west? That's warm air and that's moist air. And that's feeding ahead of a cold front. And then the cold front takes that warm and moist air and it can actually squeeze, make showers and thunderstorms, right? The cooler, drier air underneath of it that's coming in here, okay, that literally lifts up the warm, moist air here and makes clouds and storms, and then that gives us a chance for rain. So here's our first chance as we get into Saturday night. I think we stay dry, but let's go out to Sunday, and that's it. Yeah, it's not a big chance.
Yeah.
But there is a chance, and it's only about 20%, so don't look for much on Sunday, but it's getting a little bit better. That front really doesn't do much. It pushes through here, but it really falls apart. And that's a good indication that, number one, you're not going to cool down much behind it. And number two, you're probably not going to get a lot of rain out of something. There's not a lot of force coming with that, squeeze that moisture out.
Yeah, that's when we usually look at that precipitable water map just to see how much available moisture we have in the atmosphere. And even when we get fronts like this that are weaker, you know, it's just not enough to break that level of dry air where we have from the surface way up in the atmosphere. Yep. I mean, it may disturb it a little bit, but when you're talking rain that really accumulates, this system's just not going to do it for us.
Stronger front, you just bring stronger storms, stronger chances for rain at least.
Yeah.
So this is Wednesday. So think of this, well, I can actually show you this. Let's go up and travel, because look up in the East Coast on Wednesday. And that is one of the busiest travel days that we have all year round. Most of this is rain is what it looks like, but that I-95 corridor, Washington all the way up to even Boston will have some rain. But then look at the rain that's coming from Michigan up into western New York, Ohio, western Pennsylvania, and then Minnesota, especially Wisconsin, is looking at some snow on the backside. That's a pretty big low pressure system that's going to affect Chicago, I think, as they get into Wednesday night and Thursday. So travel is not going to be fun there. And then notice what happens to us on Thursday. Let me back this up a little bit. See the rain? It's trying to dry it out. I mean, almost completely drying it out. That's jumping ahead in time. So we'll see. The model's going to flip-flop, as you were saying earlier, Colleen. But we were thinking Thursday was going to have a better chance for rain. Right now, this particular run says no. But then
it brings it back.
It brings it back. Look at Saturday.
Now Saturday, yeah. Yeah.
Sunday.
So the earlier run had that rain lifting in from the south on Friday. Now it looks like it wants to push it back to Saturday and Sunday. And this is pretty typical where we see that change in time. So, nothing too alarming. It's just trying to pinpoint the forecast for you guys, especially when it comes to a holiday.
Yeah. So, right now we're still on a heads up for a better chance for rain on Thursday, on Thanksgiving. We'll see. Maybe, the trend right now, at least in this latest run, is to be drier. I will say the European model, which is much more accurate lately than the GFS for at least a year. The GFS, something's wrong with the GFS. But we still look at it a little bit, get the overall picture. But the GFS, or the European, has flip-flopped in the last 24 to 36 hours on some snow and some moisture. And I mean flip-flopped a lot. So let's let this kind of figure itself out here the next 24 to 36 hours, and we should get a better handle on Thanksgiving. Again, it's a week away. Here's the drought index, though. That got updated today. It gets updated every Thursday. And the change here is Hernando and Citrus County are now in what's called the moderate drought. And this just extended a little bit further to the north and inland as well. Still looking good over on the East Coast because they had all that rain, but there's still certainly some dry spots there. And it is going to get worse before it gets better.
Yeah.
Colleen, let's take a break.
Okay.
When we come back, I want to explore this map just a little bit more. We look at the state and the country, and then we'll talk about the overall trends for temperatures for our area.
Before hurricane season hits, it's time to prep your home. Familiarize yourself with where your water shutoff valve is located. If backflow prevention devices are installed, get them tested annually.
Those are some great tips, and Cool Today is here to help you weather the storm. For over 60 years, we've been here to help Floridians with their cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs. We can help you prepare, protect, and repair your home. Call 888-40-TODAY.
I was driving when a Ford pickup truck barreled into me from behind, sending me to the hospital.
I knew my husband was going to need an excellent attorney, so I called Dan Newland.
I'm so glad my wife called Dan. Dan really fought for me. He won my case and got me $650,000.
If you've been involved in a car accident, allow me to fight for you. Call me now at 813-888-8000.
Thanks, Dan, for winning my husband's case.
This autumn, give your home the upgrade it deserves. Save up to 20% during California Closet's Autumn Upgrade event, making it easier than ever to transform your space with our select finishes. Whether it's a walk-in closet, home office, pantry, or garage, our designs are about more than organization. They're about creating space for what belongs. We call it practical magic, expert design that feels effortless. Visit one of our 3 Tampa Bay showrooms or schedule your complimentary consultation today at CaliforniaClosetsTampaBay.com.
Windows are created and installed with different levels of quality. Unique quality that can withstand the tropical climate. Our installers only install PGT custom windows and doors, so we are the go-to experts. Don't take my word for it. We have been named Best of Tampa Bay 3 years in a row, Reader's Choice in Sarasota 3 years in a row, and nationally recognized as Window and Door Dealer of the Year. Price is what you pay, but value is what you get. Give WeatherTight Windows a call today, and don't forget the cookies.
All right, welcome back. Let's take a look at the Florida Drought Index. Again, this is all updated on Thursdays. And while it's dry here and it's getting drier, if you look up to the northern part of the state on the Florida Drought Index, there you go, you can see it's got into the exceptional drought range now. This area here near Tallahassee, it has been extremely dry. And again, some rain chances are coming here. It's going to get a little bit better. But we're in the dry season now, and we need to shift the pattern. We need to see those shots of cold air trying to come at us, because if they do, we'll have cold fronts coming through to bring that colder air.
Yeah.
And they should bring at least a little bit of rain with it. When you look at that extended forecast, if you see warm numbers, don't expect a lot of rainfall at this particular point. And Colleen, you kind of dug down a little bit deeper, and over on her computer, you compared, there you go, the two.
Yeah, so we knew that our drought monitor was going to show worsening conditions, but sometimes it's a little bit easier to see last week versus this week because, it is a subtle change, but of course we look at this every week. But for you at home, let's check it out. I don't know if you can bring it wide in the back so people can see a little bit better, but Citrus County, there we go, and Hernando County last week on the left was just abnormally dry in the yellow color. Now this week, you can see that moderate level of droughts has been extended up to the north as well as pushed out to the east more as well. So Hardy County, DeSoto County, some of our southernmost counties, they are also seeing that moderate level of droughts. Now Hillsborough, Pinellas, that was under that moderate level of drought last week. But the biggest change here, moving more up to the north and more out to the east. Now, as far as rainfall totals go, the year-to-date rainfall, we are in a deficit. We mentioned before, Tampa by 8 inches, more than 8 inches.
Wow.
Sarasota doing a little bit better, but still a deficit is, what it is, 2 inches behind. And Brooksville, look at that, 16 inches of rain they need to catch up for that year-to-date rainfall. And Winter Haven, not much better. They are behind by about a foot. Now, we said this yesterday, one of the reasons why the east coast of Florida, they're not technically under drought right now, but they may be catching up to us because they had those tropical systems that were really out in the Atlantic, but brought that excess of moisture to that side. This year, we didn't have any tropical systems close to our area on the Gulf Coast. Diving deeper into Tampa for the month to date, Bobby, we only had traceable amounts of rain. I believe that was on November 10th. We had less than 1/10 of an inch. And so, of course, for a month to date, also very behind. We have a lot of catching up to do. And there's only, 10 days left of the month?
Yeah,
So.
yeah, and like we were saying, maybe the 27th is, maybe the 28th. And then we saw now Saturday be the 29th. It's actually showing up a slightly better chance. So just barely getting some by the end. Take a look at the expected rain over my computer. And that 20% we have on Sunday, it's hard to see. I mean, I got to literally see that. That
A little speck.
that is not 20%.
Yeah.
But we still think there will be 1 or 2 showers coming through in here that the model's not really picking up on. But it's not going to be a lot either way you look at it. Temperature-wise, remember, as I said, as long as you see warm numbers, don't expect a lot of rain. But when you see a change, like you see right here from Wednesday to Thursday, that change happens with a cold front. And those are the chances of rain that we get there. So this is the GFS. It's been pretty consistent in cooling us down Thursday into Friday. Now it looks like it wants to try and keep us cooler already into Thursday. We were thinking Thanksgiving was closer to 80 degrees.
Yeah.
It looks like it's trying to bring the front in a little bit sooner. But either way, it's going to be right in that area. This will be important because that'll guarantee or tell really whether or not we do get rain on the holiday. But you can see a cool down from behind that. 78 is where we should be for this time of the year. And we're talking mid 80s ahead of it, lower 70s behind it. And there are the overnight lows. These two obviously will go with that. This does not look to be as cold as what we saw last week.
Yeah, certainly no comparison. Last week we had historic cold. I mean,
38,
that was rough.
I think.
Yeah. Oh, it
For
was
Tampa,
just.
at least.
Yeah, it was pretty rough out there.
So we're not looking at that right now. Now this takes us through the end of the month, and what you're going to notice is, and this is a change because we've been cooler out west. They've had a good amount of snow in a lot of those areas, but now you're starting to see that cold air come down. All right, and this is really the 26th through the 30th. All right, so this is basically obviously next week into the weekend. Look what's happening for us. All right, the cooler air is coming, but it's really just trying to push through here on the 27th and 28th anyways. And so most of that time, we're actually a little bit above average. So we'll have to see if we do get it in there. If you look at the next 30 days, it's not promising a whole lot of cool air for us.
Yeah.
Now, this is La Nina. We're officially in a La Nina, and this is exactly what I would expect to see for La Nina. Warm and dry along the south, cool and a little bit wet up north. So this is a 30-day outlook, which is kind of a better thing to look at when you're looking at overall compared to things like La Nina, because they're global issues, right? And they affect jet streams, and the jet stream basically affects the storm path. And if the storms are not down here along the south,
they have to be somewhere.
Yeah, if they're not down here along the south, they're going to be up to the north, and that's what happens during La Nina year. So. So that's where we're at with this particular one. I think there will be cool shots. They will be short-lived, probably, as usual. I will say in La Nina years, we tend to see some cold air in late January and February. And we tend to see some freeze chances, especially even into early February in La Nina year. So it could be a warm and dry winter for the most part, but then you will get some cold snaps. So it's things that we do keep an eye on. All right, 4:50, just about 4:50. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll finish up with our 7-day forecast.
I was involved in a very bad car accident. Called attorney Dan Newland, and it was like 1, 2, 3. Dan really got it done for me. At the end of my case, he got me $525,000.
As one of the largest personal injury law firms in the United States, my team and I remain committed more than ever to win big on your case. Involved in a car accident? Let's get started. Call me at 813-888-8000.
Thank you, Dan, for winning my case.
This autumn, give your home the upgrade it deserves. Save up to 20% during California Closet's Autumn Upgrade event, making it easier than ever to transform your space with our select finishes. Whether it's a walk-in closet, home office, pantry, or garage, our designs are about more than organization. They're about creating space for what belongs. We call it practical magic, expert design that feels effortless. Visit one of our 3 Tampa Bay showrooms or schedule your complimentary consultation today at CaliforniaClosetsTampaBay.com.
Windows are created and installed with different levels of quality. Unique quality that can withstand the tropical climate. Our installers only install PGT custom windows and doors, so we are the go-to experts. Don't take my word for it. We have been named Best of Tampa Bay 3 years in a row, Reader's Choice in Sarasota 3 years in a row, and nationally recognized as Window and Door Dealer of the Year. Price is what you pay, but value is what you get. Give WeatherTight Windows a call today, and don't forget the cookies.
With a fresh new look and over 60 years of keeping Floridians comfortable, Cool Today is the name to trust for fast same-day service. Cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Our friendly expert technicians take the hassle out of home repair today. And Cool Today is here for you tomorrow, too. That's why we're introducing a parts and labor warranty on select AC systems for a lifetime. For cooling, plumbing, or electrical service, get the best from today and for years to come. Cool Today.
All right, welcome back. Satellite and radar right now showing, guess what?
It's
Looking
dry.
out the window,
It's
clear
dry.
skies. Yeah, nothing really out there. Hey, the Oilers are in town tonight against the
Woo.
Bolts. Yep, and it's perfect hockey weather. Going in the upper 70s, coming out in the lower 70s for this evening. Might be closer to 69 degrees or so by that time. No rain, no issues as far as that's concerned. And then overnight tonight's a little bit milder than what it has been. It's not a lot. Generally by 10, most areas are in the 60s. It actually feels comfortable. I gotta be honest with you. It feels like California.
Yeah.
You know, you get low to mid 80s in the daytime and then low 60s at night, some upper
Yeah.
50s. That's pretty much Southern California weather right there. And that's what we have here for the next several days. Tomorrow, 83 to 84 for a high. It says 82 there, but in between there, we'll kind of top out there. There's no big change. Mostly sunny, just a few clouds. East to northwest winds continue. They'll go a little more east-southeast tomorrow, but still very light, and 5 to 10 knots with that afternoon sea breeze coming in. It's gorgeous, but 72 degrees in the water. That has cooled, of course. And then Colleen said